Welcome back to the Zach Ratliff Show. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for listening, and thanks for all the support you all have given me. Today we're going to be rapid fire news. That's what we're going to do. It's the Thursday before Easter. It would be the Thursday that of the Last Supper in the traditional view of Easter. So there's that. Tomorrow's going to be a great show. That for Good Friday, so make sure and tune in. I'm going to start releasing this show every day at 11 a.m. So that is the plan. It will release at 11 a.m. Each weekday, and I intend to stick to that as best I can, which will mean it will happen. So anyway, here we go. Today's segment of Rapid Fire News is number one, CNBC.com. Trump calls for Powell's end. That's Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, end at the Fed. He's like, hey, we got to get rid of this guy. And I've been saying this for a good while now. That when Trump's policies started to work, the Fed would manipulate or mess with our monetary policy in such a way that it causes our economy to shut down. So just as the stock market was starting to pick back up, just as other countries were starting to come to the table and okay, we don't want the tariffs. We're gonna negotiate. The Fed goes, oh, we're not gonna cut rates. We think the economy's about to crash. That alone changed yesterday and today. Look, Trump's fighting an uphill battle the whole way, but he's fighting it for you and he's fighting it for me. Once again, I don't think Donald Trump's the savior of the world, but I think he's what America needs right now. I think he's looking out for me and you and my kids and your kids and our grandkids. And the establishment, the swamp, they don't like it. They're going to fight it in every way possible. And so I think that's what's happening now. So even if you go to thehill.com, thehill.com has an article where the markets tanked right after the press conference that Jerome Powell gave yesterday. And then when I was watching this morning, it was down 500 pre-market. Look, we're at war with ourselves in this country. We have to keep a backbone. We have to be focused on, hey, this is what's going to happen. And Donald Trump's even said it's going to be tough at first. We're fighting an establishment that is so entrenched that they don't want to give up power. And we just have to know that going forward. And we just have to stick to what we believe and what we think is right. And in the end, I think we will. Look, in the end, God wins. So, I guess all of that said, in the end, everything works out anyway. However, until we get there, I'd like to have the country that I grew up in. I'd like to have the greatest nation in the world, which we do have. So we just have to know that that's what we're fighting against. Speaking of thehill.com, we're going to stick with it. Thehill.com, Republicans are quietly hoping that the Supreme Court of the United States bails them out on Trump's tariffs. This is what I'm talking about. Republicans don't have the backbone to stick it out. And look, this is the difference in the Republican Party and the Democrats. We welcome differing ideas as Republicans. We don't all believe the same thing. If you're a Democrat, you toe the line, and it is what it is. And if you go against them, it's a problem. They will cut your funding. Republicans, we fight amongst ourselves because we're for open ideas. We want the best way to come. We want the best. We want the best. I think that's it. We want the best for the country, and the marketplace of ideas is welcome in our party. That bites us sometimes. Where Democrats, as it has been said before to me, they toe the line. They ride for the brand. If they were ranchers, this is the brand that their cattle are. That's who they support. No matter what. They toe the line. Where Republicans were like, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily seem right. And because of that, now we've got Republicans hoping the Supreme Court bails out the tariffs. We need to stick together. We need to stick together. Look, if Republicans mess this up, and which we always find a way to do that, they shouldn't never win another election. They've got the court, they've got the legislature, and they've got the executive. Let's get things done instead of fighting amongst ourselves. Let's do that. It's just wild. It's a wild thing to me that we can't get along, that we can't even. Anyway, it's just wild. Speaking of the rates and all that, CNBC is reporting that the European Central Bank is cutting rates. They have to. Look, if we put these tariffs on them, it's not only gonna hurt us, it's gonna hurt the rest of the world. And that's okay. That's the card we have to play. We're in an exaggerated game of poker right now. And we're just having to hope either we have the cards or we've got the better bluffer. I think we've got the better bluffer, and I think we have the cards. We cannot be afraid to play them, and we can't be afraid to bluff a little bit. Also, we can't be afraid to lay down that hand that shows that we are on top. We can't be afraid at the end of the hand to flip our cards over and say, see, we had you. That's what matters. Moving on to Yahoo.com, Trump is joining the tariff team that's in Japan. He's getting in on the tariff negotiations himself. This is what we need. I want him to be part of the conversations. If he doesn't see it's going well, step in, make it happen. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And I think he can get the job done. What I'm worried about is that these other countries will see our mainstream media sabotaging us, see our inter-party Republicans sabotaging us, and will say, hey, we can just hold out. These people are going to cave to the pressures that may or may not be real. We don't have to give in. So Donald Trump's also fighting that. So he has to show that this is where we are. So for the next, till 2026, we're all in. Now, are they going to try to burn us and ruin us in the midterms? Absolutely. However, like I talked about yesterday, the MAGA movement inside the Republican Party is gaining support. And Republican Party overall is gaining support. We can't allow these rhinos with no backbone to ruin us. We have to stick to our beliefs and our convictions and push forward. And I think that's what we're doing. DHS.gov, Department of Homeland Security, their Secretary Kristi Noem cancels the grants to Harvard. I didn't know the DHS gave grants to Harvard. I didn't know enough to know what I didn't know, honestly. This is great. I'm not saying Harvard can't say whatever they want to say. I'm not saying Harvard can't support whoever they want to support or whatever other university. You have the right of free speech. You have the right to do inside the law what you want to do. But I, as Zach taxpayer, don't have to pay for it. I don't have to support it. So don't take my money that you steal from my paycheck and then give it to things I don't believe. That's not what I want. So yeah, you are free to talk about what you want to talk about. You are free to do what you need to do. But don't stop that. Don't stop me from doing what I want to do. Anyway. Moving on. It just makes sense, right? Don't stop me from, if I can say what I want to, you can say what you want to, and I guess I'm kind of talking circular here. I had a bunch of thoughts go through my mind, but you're allowed to say what you want to say, but don't take it from my check. Don't take it from my money. That's all I'm trying to say. Say what you want to say. The government shouldn't have to pay for you to do that. CNBC.com, the trade war fallout, has now caused cancellations of freight ships and that's exactly right. That's what's going to happen. I think this could have a positive effect on fuel prices and everything else. But yeah, all industry is going to be affected. All industry is literally going to be affected. Let's see. I'm sorry. I was just looking at my notes. X.com, Charlie Kirk, the DOJ releases evidence that this guy that's been deported down to, that's been deported that we're all talking about, that the senator went to get, he is a gang member. Why are we supporting this guy like he's perfect? He's not perfect. We got to follow the law here. This guy's getting more rights than some of our citizens get. El Salvador, that's it, El Salvador. And then the senator, one of the senators from Maryland, flew to El Salvador to rescue this guy. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Golly, it's just crazy. It's just nuts. Support your own people. This guy hadn't even called the mom of the girl who was killed in his state by a gang member. But we're going to go support this guy? Nuts. It's just nuts. Let me see what else we've got here. Americans for Tax Reform, ATR.org. Sean Hannity rips the proposed 40% tax hike on top earning Americans. I'm with you, Sean Hannity. We don't need the tax hike. I say we throw every Republican out if this goes through. What a horrible idea. This is complete BS. I don't know why we would ever be okay with that. Golly. CNN.com. Britain, as in the UK, is trying to take control of its only remaining steel plant back from China because they can't produce. This is what would happen here. We have to stick to our guns. We have to keep going. We cannot allow China to take over our industry just as it has Britain's and other parts of the world. We have to remain self-sufficient. I'm glad this CNN reported this. And that's pretty much my rapid fire news for the day. All right. I hope you all have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Friday.